Hi there, just a video about whether the McCollum-Key-Stokes regime actually saved Test cricket. When they started together, that was their remit, and I'm just analysing whether Test cricket is any safer than it was 4 years ago. The conclusion is actually it isn't, and rather than saving Test cricket, they've actually endangered it in England. I don't know about anywhere else. Um, by replacing one set of fans with another and cheapening the game to the extent where it's now really like a low level entertainment rather than a sport. So, firstly, um, if you look at the first kind of bad thing they did, it was to say that results didn't matter. So, despite the fact McCollum, Key, Stokes were on huge wages and the players were centrally contracted, the results didn't actually matter. And it was just about the way they played and the entertainment value. Now, whether or not it was entertaining was another matter. I didn't think it was particularly entertaining. It was very one dimensional, with one dimensional batting on flat pitches and very kind of predictable bowling. A kind of a one day type bowling with no kind of mystery or guile, just, bowling bouncers all the time at tail enders, things like that. There was nothing, entertaining about that. Um, So did they save Test cricket? Well, results didn't matter for them. That was one thing, and then they also got to the stage where they would just pick players regardless of form or output. So they would just hand out caps to say someone like Crawley, Bashir, to a lesser extent Pope. I think he had some talent, but they probably made him worse. Um, and regardless of what they did, so McCollum said he picked Crawley because he wasn't there to score runs. I mean, that's the first time anyone's ever said that about an England batsman. So there was stuff like that, and then also it fed into the emergence of Sky pushing cricket into the entertainment field. So we'd had the 100 coming in, and which was a bit like a kind of rubbish version of T20, with even less focus on the actual cricket. Um, and the results didn't matter. No one knew what was happening. The fans couldn't even tell you who won 10 minutes after the game was finished, etc. Fireworks, fire coming out the ground, idiotic commentary, etc. So you had that brought in. You now had a stage where England were playing cricket just as a kind of entertainment, and the results didn't matter. And I think it it was a move from cricket as a sport to an entertainment. Then you had a case where it was almost like they wanted games finished ASAP, whether they won or whether they lost. If you take the third test against Pakistan, when England lost that series in late 24, they were in a rush to lose in that third test. Um, yeah, when they went behind the eight ball, they just got blown away. Third test against Sri Lanka in 2024, they just wanted to have it done over and done with as quickly as possible. Lost in 4 days, and it was things like that. So there was just this sense that just get the games over and done with as quick as possible, and that wasn't that kind of importance or meaning attached to actually winning a game or winning a series. And if you look at the last test against New Zealand, Stokes' last ever test, it was from day four was treated as a testimonial. No one cared about the result, and no one cared about the series being lost. And it was just go out there and smash the ball, lads. For Stokes' testimonial. Uh, Before McCollum, series were treated very seriously, and they were very hard fought. Whether England won them or lost them was a different matter, but there was a lot of importance placed on them. There isn't now. And then also to bring context to tests and to test series in an era where a lot of people are playing two test series or one test series, and where the white ball game is preeminent, especially T20 and franchise leagues, the ICC brought in the World Test Championship to kind of ameliorate that. Stokes, McCollum, Key just dismissed it and said, "We don't really like it," and so didn't didn't even try to qualify for it. And the amazing thing was, there's no other sport where they would have got away with that, or no other bloody cricket organisation where you could say, "Well, it's not going to take uh, the uh, the main Test trophy and not paying attention to it, but still pay us a vast amount of money, and we're still doing a good job." It's just ridiculous. Um, so on those levels, they've actually made cricket less secure in England than it was before. And in a way, a lot of their rhetoric has kind of hardened people towards cricket and hardened them and made them more cynical. If you take a lot of the rubbish that Key and McCollum used to spout, um, it, it did make people a bit cynical, um, and so I don't think that was any good for the game. And the talk about spirit of cricket and things like that, which only kind of went one way, um, did not endear them to anyone. And if you look at spirit of cricket, for instance, nothing went against the spirit of cricket more than the antics on day 4 at Trent Bridge, where somebody announces the retirement halfway through the game for some kind of, Viking funeral. And then the players are completely distracted, the fans are completely distracted, the opposition doesn't know what's going on. And then in the end, batting orders change so that the retiring player can just have a bit of a biff and say goodbye to everyone in a kind of testimonial manner, and everyone else joins in. And the fact that we lost the series doesn't really matter. Now that is for me, a pretty clear indictment of the regime, and a pretty clear um, mark against them in terms of saving Test cricket and the integrity of Test cricket. Um, the fact they do no preparation for Test series is another mark against them, and the fact that a lot of their players prefer golf or play golf rather than playing in county games. Holly Pope is one example, but not the only one. Um, so if you take Ollie Pope, rather than playing in a title deciding match against Durham for his county, sorry, he was playing pro am golf. Joe Root, when Yorkshire were facing a relegation battle, decided to play golf with Piers Morgan. So James Anderson went over to be the bowling coach in Pakistan, but was delayed because he was playing golf. It's stuff like that that does not save Test cricket, but rather does the opposite. You're actually advertising another sport as better than the one that you're playing. So they have no way saved Test cricket, and they've actually impugned it, I would say. And probably in England now there'd be far fewer people watching Test cricket because of this.